Welcome back, builders. It's Ginger Guardian, and today we have an exciting update on the Hogwarts Valley construction. The vast foundation of the world has been laid, and we've made some fantastic progress. Let's jump right in and check out the latest additions.
When I first embarked on this journey, I had no idea where to start. So like any logical person would do, I went to YouTube, and I found this guy named Grazzy. Grazzy has been building the entire Breath of the Wild map in Minecraft, and I'll have his channel in the description if you want to check it out. But Grazzy's first and second videos talked about this software called World Painter, where you can upload an image into their software and it'll pop out a Minecraft map. So that's exactly what I did. I overlaid 3 maps into one photo. One of the Hogwarts Valley, one of the castle, and one of Hogsmeade. I threw it into World Painter, and the results were horrendous. It was crazy to see the height difference from one block to another. It was like seeing a cursed image of Minecraft. So I went back into World Painter and started tweaking it again, and again, and again. And at this point here, you can see me adjusting height levels and drawing out walls and paths and all that kind of fun stuff. Having World Painter saved me a ton of time, so I wouldn't have to build the map by hand or with World Edit, but I still had to learn how to use the software. And I frequently had to compare the map I was creating to the maps that I had seen online and in the Hogwarts Legacy game, which made it a challenge to get it exactly right, so I just gave it my best shot. Oh well. As you might have noticed, there's supposed to be rivers around the map, but it's just showing as sand. That's because of how the World Painter works. I can't place water up high or it'll flood the map, so I had to go in and manually fill in the rivers. And as you can see me comparing maps between what the Hogwarts game says and what I have for the Quidditch pitch. And this is me adjusting the pathway to the Quidditch pitch. And it's really nice because World Painter allows you to paint with certain bricks or blocks. So right now I'm playing with a dirt path block, so I don't have to go in there later and put it in there by hand. And then at this point I'm just doing touch-ups on the map. I have the Minecraft map open on another monitor, and I'm just flying around checking to see what else I still need to touch up on and what's looking pretty good. And then when I'm satisfied with this final product, what I do is I go ahead and I export it. And this is probably the most painful part of the process because it takes ages. The video here has it at times 8 million speed, and even though it says it takes about 3 minutes there, it jumps up to 9, but it's not accurate at all. It's more like 30 minutes, so I have to wait quite a while. This was probably the worst part of the process, just because I had to wait so long and I couldn't do anything else to make forward progress with the map. And I just had to wait for the renders to upload so I can go and see how the world is looking. But eventually, we got there. I was happy with the map, and then we can move into the actual building and the decorations and things like that. In this next clip, I start placing the trees around the map. I wanted to get the trees down first so I would know where I needed to put the building so that the trees wouldn't be in the way. And so I could get a nice landscape to look at as we're building the castle. So I made these trees in a sandbox world, and then I saved it as a schematic through World Edit. And then I could just paste the trees and rotate them how I needed to. And then I could place them higher or lower and then just add the trunks later on. I think it turned out pretty nicely. I did have to go and make a few tweaks from the terrain, but overall I'm liking the way that the trees turned out. As we jump around, you might see the cliffs in the background there. World Painter did not have the cliffs like that. I had to go in there and manually make it, which I did with World Edit. But I forgot to record it. it took me a solid 2 days to create the cliff face with the gray blocks, and then actually create that sloped gradient in there. And then same thing with the waters and rivers. I had to go in there. I placed all the water blocks through World Edit, and then I had to adjust the waterfalls by hand. So this first bridge here, it's the first bridge that I built inside the map. I built it mostly by hand, and I wanted to put a lot of time and effort into this bridge because it is one of the main bridges that's used by the students throughout the movies and throughout the game, because it connects the Hogwarts Castle and the Hogwarts grounds to the rest of the Hogwarts Valley, heading towards the Forbidden Forest and Hogsmeade. This is the bridge that you walk over with Sebastian, and it's along the route that you see Mr. Moon. I tried to use World Edit a little bit just to get the arches right, but I was struggling with it. So I decided to get rid of it all, just try to make the ends of the bridge a little bit deeper, and then I'll just make the arches by hand instead of trying to use the World Edit. This looks okay to me, but it was a little blocky, so I decided to change it up a little bit, try to make it a little bit more rounded, using some slabs and stairs, things like that. And then I wanted to add depth to it. So I added these support pillars on the outside to give it more of a sturdy look to it. And then I added these rails. And then I had to create some other support beams, and then rounding out, connecting all the rails to the others. And it's looking okay so far, but it's all very solid, not very detailed. So I'm adding more stairs, I'm adding some dark blocks under the water so it looks like the water has gotten it wet, and then I am going to use World Edit here to replace some of the blocks so it's not all that stone brick, it's more detailed and more textured. Now the second bridge here, it still connects the Hogwarts grounds and the castle to the rest of the valley, but it's not as well used. The first bridge connects the main gate of the Hogwarts grounds to the rest of the valley, and this bridge is off to the side through a smaller gate, so it's not used as often. So I didn't go as hard as I did for the first bridge. I did want to use different colors though, just to make it stand out a little bit more, because it's not the same style as it is in the Hogwarts Legacy game. So I decided to make it out of brick, and then I'll change up the block palette later on after I've placed all the bricks and I've gotten the shape that I like. So I wanted to have this kind of interesting shape where it's narrow as it goes towards the middle, and then it has a main support structure near the middle of that bridge. So right now I'm just working on getting the rails up, and then doing the same thing like we did with the other side, just connecting the rails underneath with stairs and slabs, things like that. And I wanted this to be unique, so I do have that shape underneath it, and then when we get to the bottom I'm going to have that a lone support pillar to give it that kind of unique structure and support. And now I just need to smoothen it all out, make it look a little bit rounder and less blocky, and then we can switch to that final color palette. And I think it turned out pretty okay. For bridge number 3, I start out with a basic placement of the walkway, just getting it where I wanted to so that the two paths were connected, and then I placed the hand supports and guide rails on the sides by hand. And then as I went underneath, I started to put the support beams at the ends of the bridges where I wanted them to be. And I started to use the World Edit tool a little bit more at this point, using the curve function to create the archway underneath it. So it was the way it's supposed to be. It turned out okay. I definitely had some room for improvement here, but it is getting better. A lot of this one still was by hand. I really only used World Edit for that archway, and then to replace the color palette at the end here. I like this bridge. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Bridge number 4. I started to use World Edit more than the last one, so I'm not going to talk too much about this one, but I did want to hear from you guys. So, drop a comment down below with what you're most excited to see in the Hogwarts Valley construction. Are there any specific details or features you're hoping to see? Let me know down below, and I'll make sure to highlight that in the video when it comes up. This bridge wasn't too shabby. Used World Edit, filled it in with my manual placement, nothing too crazy. And then I thought about adding a support beam underneath it, and then decided against it, because I think that looks pretty solid there. And then we just had to get the block palette in here to add a little bit more texture and depth to it. Bridge number 5. So this is the last bridge I built, and most of it was done with World Edit. I used it to create the framework for the most part, getting the walkway and the handrails using the line command, and then I decided to fill in the little bits that I could with hand to get the support at the end of the bridge where I wanted it to, and then I was able to use the curve command like I have with previous bridges to have that get filled in for me. So to recap, throughout my journey laying the foundation of the Hogwarts Valley in this video, I've learned a lot about how to use World Edit and World Painter and how to piece these videos together. I've also been building a lot of castles off screen to hype myself up for the months to come, where I'm putting together the parts of the Hogwarts castle that are meaningful to everyone. But before you head out, let's take a tour of the Hogwarts Valley as of now.
Thanks for watching, builders. We've laid the groundwork for an epic Hogwarts Valley, but this is just the beginning. In our next video, we're going to be utilizing the exciting new blocks from the 1.21 update to bring the academic side of the castle to life, including the classrooms, library, map room, and the room of requirement. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. I can't wait to show you what's next. See you in the next one.